If you're a high achieving person, perfectionist, type A personality type, and you usually have really big dreams and aspirations for yourself, you can probably relate to self-sabotaging unless you have a really well laid out, thought out plan ahead of you on how you're gonna hit your goals. Or you're the kind of person that's done every single bit of research you need to hit your biggest ever goals, yet you never seem to take action on all the knowledge that you have inside of your head, even though you've overplanned and meticulously researched every single step. You might even get really riled up by the thought of achieving your goals because you know so much, but you equally get super frustrated at yourself because you literally just don't take any action on what you know. And so because of that, you just self-sabotage all the time because you're scared of your own potential. You have this fear around failing because you happen to know so much, but you also have this fear around succeeding because your life has just never not been different from what it currently is. And today, you're just paralyzed. You're full of inaction and stuck in your head. I'm gonna break down the 3 key things you need to know in order to take action and level up in the next 90 days so you can be well on your way to your dream life by the time everyone else is just picking out their goals. Now, 90 days from today is the 1st of January, 2025. So I want you to imagine having stuck to this whole plan and everything I'm gonna talk about in this video for 90 days. You'd literally be 3 months into your new habits, into your dream life, ahead of everyone else who's just getting started. And in order to make progress and take action, we need 3 key things: clarity, simplicity, and a system. Now, there are 2 elements to having clarity over your goals. And after we go through the 3 pillars, I'm going to lay out an exact structure for you to follow over the next 90 days that is clear, simple, and easy to follow. Now, there are 2 elements to clarity. There's the big picture and the end goal, and actually the focus that you need when you're deciding to change your life and overhaul all of your current habits in 90 days. And having clarity over what the future looks like is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you have nothing really pulling you through to the end and getting you through the moments that changing your life can feel difficult. If you don't have clarity over that end vision, you'll never feel compelled enough to just keep going. You'll just easily give up. And in order to have clarity over your end goal, you need to be able to see it in your head and see the best possible version of it in your head. You need to see that big, impossible sounding, audacious dream in your head. Like Robert Greenleaf said, behind every impossible achievement was a dreamer of impossible dreams. Now, most of us actually create things twice. First, we imagine it, and then we actually do it. And if I take my life this year as an example of this, I imagined many times being able to quit my corporate job, and earlier this year, I did it. I imagined many times being able to do a pull-up. I imagined pulling all of my weight off the ground and into the bar, and 2 weeks ago, I did it. So for those 2 goals of mine, I've created a version of them twice. Now, the easier one to create out of the 2 of them is the one up in your head first. So that's the key priority to get clear on. Imagine and create the scenario in your head where you've achieved your big dream goal. Ask yourself, if you were fearless and could not fail at anything, what is it that you'd want to do with your life? What is it that you'd want to achieve? So with clarity at the front of our mind, we need to envision that end goal. Now, the second part of having clarity over that end goal is focus. If you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it allows you to focus all of your energy and your inputs into that one thing. And what that means in reality is having one thing that you envision at the end of your goal. So with this transformation that you're embarking on, it would only take 90 days. And I say only because 3 months out of the year, 3 months out of your life isn't that long a time. So if you could only focus 3 months into doing 1 to 3 things, that's a lot better, and you're more likely to actually achieve that end goal rather than trying to focus 3 months on to 10 things. You could only probably give 10% to each thing rather than being able to give 30% to each thing. Like James Clear says, you'd probably surprise yourself with what you're able to accomplish if you're focused on one thing, and you'd probably frustrate yourself with how much you fail to accomplish with 5 to 7 things. Nobody performs well when they're stretched in half a dozen directions. Being able to focus also removes decision fatigue on a much higher level. And if you're a perfectionist type A personality type, you're probably stressed every single day on what decisions to make that would lead to the right outcome, the most desirable outcome. Now, if you're only focused on 1 to 3 things for 90 days, thinking about what you're going to do each day is a lot less of an energetic process. And so it's so much easier to actually just get up and execute towards that clear end vision rather than getting up thinking, oh my God, what do I need to do in order to hit my goal every single day? Which would wear you down after 90 days. Now, the secret sauce here is to find clarity and pick 1 to 3 goals that you can actually leverage into what you want your dream life to actually be. And I call this high leverage goals. And simply speaking, that's just picking a smaller version of a bigger goal that you want, or the level 1 version of the level 10 goal that you want. With my goal of wanting to get a pull-up, my level 10 goal was getting the pull-up, but my level 1 goal was maybe being able to do a lat pull down at half of my body weight. If you also only pick a small number of goals for the next 90 days, you're also giving yourself the best chance to achieve them without burning out or fatiguing yourself or getting frustrated in the process because it's taking so long and so much effort, which makes the next pillar, simplicity, a lot more easier. Now, with simplicity being the second pillar that you need in order to transform your life over the next 90 days, it's something that a lot of us perfectionists, procrastinators, and type A personality types don't do very well with. We tend to overcomplicate and overthink. And if you found yourself avoiding tasks or procrastinating a lot on the things you want in life in the past, you have to remember that most of the time you're not actually avoiding the task itself, you're avoiding the feeling associated with the completion of that task. And I can't tell you the amount of times I've procrastinated a task for months only to do it and question why I never did it as soon as it came up because it only took 5 minutes and the consequences of finishing it were not as bad as I thought they were going to be. So because we've already got clear on our vision and our goals from pillar 1, we have to make sure we follow up with simplicity and not muddy those waters, because overwhelming tasks are just going to be a huge speed bump if you're the personality type watching this video right now. And the bottom line is, if things are simple to do, you're more likely to do them. And I bet the hesitation you've faced before or you're thinking about right now is that if tasks are so simple to do, then how are they going to change my life? Surely, if we're changing our lives, we need to be doing big, dramatic, life-changing tasks, right? Well, for most of us, that's actually a huge limiting belief, especially if you're a high-achieving person. We assume that success and becoming better goes hand in hand with difficulty, hard work, grinding, and burnout, when really the beginning of any kind of transformative journey is just an inflection point. It's just a point where you wake up and make a slightly different decision for yourself. It's the one decision you make on a random Tuesday to watch a video about how to change your life and do something about it. And true change is the repetition of those simple tasks that are different from what you were doing before. It's not purely for the outcome of doing something over and over again, but it's the process of repetition that creates a tailwind in your life, and that creates real change. Because if you have momentum behind you because of this tailwind, say you're doing 3 daily tasks a day for 3 weeks, you're way more likely to think to yourself, hey, I could do that for 3 weeks straight. That was easy. Let's turn the dial up and see what else I can do. And you start to level up. And it's this process that you rinse and repeat to create a cycle of continuous improvement. And this cycle of continuous improvement is you changing your life. So to create simplicity and create that tailwind that gives you the momentum to take more and more change on in your everyday life, ask yourself, how can I design my day, my week, or my life in a way where it's easy to do the things that the dream version of myself would do? Or you could ask yourself the opposite. How can I design a world where it's super hard to do the tasks that I've already been doing that are getting me nowhere? And finally, what you need is a system. My type A, overachieving, perfectionist people, I have got the perfect system for you. It's a 100-day sprint with included accountability. And we know that accountability helps us achieve our goals, and studies show that. Having accountability partners increases the likelihood of you achieving your goals by up to 65%, and when there are regular check-ins, that percentage increases to 95%. So the system that's going to take you from 0 to 100 by 2025 is the 100-day sprint or the 90-day sprint if you're starting today. Now, this challenge involves 4 25-day sprints, and we start with 3 rules, adding a rule with each sprint. Now, if you choose to do this over 90 days, sprint 1 is just going to be 15 days instead of 25, and is a great 15-day period for you to create that tailwind by doing 3 daily tasks for 15 days straight, so you can add your next daily rule in sprint 2. Using a system like the 100-day sprint, where we've got 4 25-day chunks of rules, ticks off the requirement for simplicity, because we're starting with 3 super simple rules, which is a daily movement for your body that's at least 30 minutes, daily planning, and reading 10 pages of any book per day. And it also allows you to be clear because we're not working towards 100 different goal types by the end of the year. Now, taking on a transformative challenge like this means you need to be really, really diligent with accountability. So whether you decide to join the free community or you decide to find an accountability partner of your own, I think it's really important to find someone that you respect and that you trust, because you don't want to let this person down. You want to be embarrassed to let this person down. Therefore, being able to check in with them and tell them that you have been hitting your daily ticks and you have been doing what you said you wanted to do means more to you than actually just bailing on your tasks. Now, I posted this as a TikTok last week and it blew up. So I ran with it and created a free accountability tracker and a community where over 1,000 of us are on this 100 or 90-day journey to level up by 2025. The link is in the description to join if you want to get out of your head this winter and create that tailwind that's going to change your life forever.